a good game out there in the sense of where you feel like you were playing well?
Maybe stat-wise. Still made a lot of mistakes, but the whole team did. We didn't play the type of basketball that we're capable of, unfortunately. We played well in stretches. We played well in the first quarter in stretches, and then after that, the second quarter, they kind of started running us a little bit, and that was the end of the game.
Tim Crawford took over in the second quarter too.
Yeah, he came off the bench and he got hot very quickly, and then he hit that three at the buzzer in the second quarter. That was a big shot. That was a big momentum shot. So.
Seemed like you guys never really got any offensive rhythm. What do you attribute that to?
Well, it was tough. We were trying different things, trying to find ways to get Brook the ball, trying to find ways to run KD and Terrence off pick and rolls, and try and get Jarvis and Courtney open shots. Unfortunately, they just didn't fall for us tonight. We shot 38% from the floor, so it's tough to win games in these games.
In a situation like this, Josh, you're going to talk about individual effort. Tonight, you have to make a choice with 24. You have to be happy with what you did tonight.
It is what it is. Like I've said the whole time, I just try and do what I can to help the team. I'm not much of a scorer. I don't get the ball, a whole lot in position to score, so I just try and do other things on the floor. And tonight was one of those nights where a lot of times my guy was just kind of hanging on the three-point line, so I had a free run in at the rim. Yeah, no problem.
Josh, it seems like a lot of these games, you're in the game for a while, and it seems to get away. Is this another one of those nights like that?
Yeah, we weren't in it as long as normal. We were in it for the first quarter, second quarter, they made the run. And we made, one or two runs in the third quarter, but every time we made a run, they come down and hit a three or get a dunk or something like that and kind of stop any momentum from building for us.
How much does a guy like Crawford sort of take the starch out of the bases?
Yeah, he was big for them tonight. He was 11 for 18 from the floor. He made big shots at big times. Anytime we kind of made a run was when he'd come down and hit a three or get an and one, something like that. So he's a very, very good scorer. He's one of the best scorers coming off the bench in the league. So.
I think you guys have locked up a worst record in this building by a Nets team.
We've set a lot of records this year, unfortunately. It's just another one. It's not really something that I'm very proud of, obviously, but that's the type of season that it's been.
Where do you get the motivation to go out there for a game where you're pulling down 3 rebounds and 1 cannon sometimes?
It doesn't matter the record. We're all professionals. None of us want to, be that team that gets 9 wins or 8 wins or whatever. We want to try and get as many more wins through the rest of the season as we can. So we're all going to come out and still play hard and still give it our all no matter what.
Josh, how much do you need the Sixers game tomorrow?
Well, we definitely, at this point, we need any game we can get. The Sixers game is one of those games that we've kind of been playing tight with them throughout the course of the season. I think every game has been close so far. So, it's going to be a big game for us. But tonight was a big game as well. And we let it slip away early. Thanks.
Effort, plain and simple. We came out strong and just went downhill from there.
Tough to get good looks tonight, bro.
Not so much our looks, the amount of easy looks they got, including fast break and second chance points.
Are you surprised at how the game unfolded with how competitive you guys were on the West Coast trip?
We started out competitive here too, and like I said, we just lost it. I don't know what it was.
The difference in Crawford just getting that hot streak at the end of the second?
We'd sustained runs before during a previous road trip and games since All-Star break, essentially. We just didn't do that tonight.
How much do you need the game tomorrow against the Sixers?
We need every game.
Almost this game like this where you were kind of the only guy who had anything going offensively, show what that might mean?
We had a lot of good looks. We had a lot of great looks, open threes for Jarvis, Q attacking the basket. Josh was really on his game tonight. A lot of shots just didn't fall, and Jamal was really hot.
Josh being on his game, what do you think contributed to him grabbing the career-high 20 rebounds?
He was just everywhere on the floor, both offensively and defensively. Well, it's been like that for a while. I think in Houston, OKC dunked on me on a tip dunk. Yeah, no problem.
Brook, was it more your offense or their defense in the second half?
Well, like I said, I think not knocking down shots and then some poor shots leading the transition buckets.
Do you think Terrence's flagrant at the end was out of frustration, or he's just trying to stop a layup, as Coach said?
You know, I thought he was just going trying to get a block shot, you know, and block shot or foul. There was nothing, you know, there was no malice in it.
Hug Evans at the end, that there was no malice there, right?
No, it's basketball.
Just going to block your shot, no frustration though?
No, it's never frustration, but a player and a team, I think, should only take so much when you know you're down and you know that team's going to win and everybody just want to dunk. So that's not the type of basketball, you know, I grew up playing, you know, for either team, high school or college. So, I mean, it's no frustration towards him. That's why I shook his hand at the end. But at the end of the day, you know, we are men before anything. So.
Surprised to play right before that, 34 seconds left. They're trapping in the backcourt up 24.
No, I mean, the guys that's in, you know, they kind of want to prove a point, you know, like that they should belong on the court. You know, they don't want to get on the court and, you know, we're going a 5 or, 10-0 run and their coach get mad. So, I mean, they trapped. I mean, it's basketball.
The fact that there were a couple guys, you know, dunking big right before that, though, was that kind of what gets you guys in the mood to not allow another one?
Well, it gets me in the mood, definitely. It's not really a dunk show. You know, it's still basketball. And, you know, when people are dunking, you kind of think that they're trying to put on the show. You know, so, like I said, there's no love lost. It's just, you know, hard foul.
How many hard fouls have you guys applied this year, I think?
Probably like 3.
What does that say about the team?
I don't know. That's when you guys go back to you guys' journals and you guys tell us what you guys think about the team. But as far as me, I really don't know.
It does say something about, I don't know, not protecting your turf like the good teams do, right?
Definitely. I mean, if you play against the Lakers or Cleveland or somebody and you go to the hole, they're going to let you know that, you know, they're a good team and they're going to let you know that they're going to foul you hard, definitely.
You like to watch old films. I don't know if you saw that Reggie Miller retrospective thing against the Knicks the other day.
Yeah.
But they showed the old rivalry between the Knicks and Pacers. Did you see what that style was?
Yeah, that's my type of style.
Yeah, you were born 10 years too late.
Definitely. But, you know, I try to make better of my modern day now.
Terrence, when you have a strong stretch of individual play like that recently, how do you put it in context when it's not producing wins?
At the end of the day, of course, you want your team to do better, but you got to try to get better individually. You know, that's what it's about. It's a business. You could be here today and tomorrow you won't be. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you want your team to do well, but like I said, you got to do well as an individual, you know, and try to get better as your team. You know, it's indicative of Josh Boone. He played his heart out tonight. You know, had 20 rebounds, and he got almost every rebound. You know, he wouldn't let me get none. So, at the end of the day, he wants us to win, but at the end of the day, he's better himself. So, definitely.
You and Jamal embraced at the end of the game. You're both from Seattle. You said this, you know, this is not the boy who were brought up playing. Did he understand your frustration?
Yeah, he told me. He said, don't think twice about that. You made the right play. Evans is a good sport. I mean, and like everybody that knows basketball, you know, knows what happened. It wasn't we're up 30 and, you know, I go foul him. If we're up 30, I'll let him have the layup, you know. So, and Jamal told me, you know, don't worry about it. And, you know, that's like a big brother, so I'll listen to him.
Thanks, Terrence.